I can't do shit in skate. All my tricks, I try to do like all the crazy tricks. Find out I'm just doing pop shove-its and kick flips. To this day, I'm still just doing pop shove-its and kick flips.
To this day.
I cannot with the
So
analog.
sad.
What is up, everybody? The Three Amigos podcast here. We got 2 out of 3 today. Me, Anthony, here with Chris. How you doing, buddy?
Yo, yo, yo.
We're gonna talk about Skate 4, Skate remake. I don't know. Is it Skate 4? Is it officially a sequel?
I think they're just calling it Skate. I think they're going back to the original title.
So I have my thoughts, and I know you have your thoughts. I do want the audience to know this. It's no doubt that Chris would destroy me in Skate.
I have not played in a long time.
Dude, I have the game and I'm still garbage. But in the same spirit, we know that I would destroy in Tony Hawk.
Yes,
this
helps balance the friendship.
Yeah, it balances the force. Okay, people.
Yeah. So that neither of us get too arrogant is that we know if we played the other person in their game, we'd lose.
Yeah, because I know like I can't do shit in skate. All my tricks, I try to do like all the crazy tricks. Find out I'm just doing pop shove-its and kick flips. To this day, I'm still just doing pop shove-its and kick flips. I cannot with the analog.
Sad.
And that's why I love Tony Hawk more. But we are seeing this trend now where games are being remade and coming back. We did get the Tony Hawk remastered or remake of 1 and 2. I'm waiting for 3 and 4 to come out. We got what was that terrible skating game that came out recently?
Skater XL.
Yeah. That was bad. I think Sessions, the Sessions get canceled, or was that only a PC release?
Session like sort of came out. I don't know. That game's been in a weird place for a while. So wait, did we talk about the fact that the Tony Hawk remake for 3 and 4 got canceled? Like they're never gonna do it.
Wait, what?
Did you not know this?
No.
Oh my god! I feel like I'm telling you that Santa Claus isn't real.
Basically, what do you mean?
So recently Tony Hawk came out, and so you know that Vicarious Visions was like absorbed by Activision into, I think, doing like fucking customer like tech support for Warzone or something stupid. So that studio's gone. They don't exist anymore. And Tony Hawk came out and said, like, not only is Vicarious Visions gone, but Activision canned they were going to do a remake of parts 3 and 4, and they just said never mind. So that's it. It's never happening.
You know,
I'm sorry you had to find out this way.
Part 3 was my first Tony Hawk game, and what made it more awesome was I know that if they were going to still make it, they wouldn't have the licensing for these unlockable characters. They had Darth Maul and Wolverine, and they had their own special moves. And then Pro Skater 4 had Jango Fett.
Yeah, it was pretty. So I mean, I thought, like, we all kind of figured that when Vicarious Visions was ridiculously just torn apart, and I don't know, they just blew it up for some reason, despite the fact that they are responsible for, I think, what did they do? The Crash Bandicoot remake?
Didn't they do that and the Spyro games?
And I think they did Spyro. I know for sure they did Crash. And then we're pretty sure they did Spyro. And they did Tony Hawk 1 and 2. So they were responsible for, like, minimum 2 of the greatest remake remasters we've seen in recent memory. And they got dismantled. And yeah, they were going to do parts 3 and 4 because parts 1 and 2 sold really well. And then Activision changed their mind. Tony Hawk came out and said, like, yeah, they were going to do it. And then they just said, never mind. So, yeah.
Well, now I'm depressed. And,
but Anthony, you don't have to be depressed for too long, because Skate 4, we are going to keep calling it Skate 4, is coming out. We should take you guys back a while. Skate 3, I mean, the whole Skate series was very popular. Skate 3 specifically still has a following on YouTube. There are videos of Skate 3 doing 50, 100,000 views. Still, that game is very old. I think it came out in like 2006, 2007. Very old game. For a very long time, people campaigned for EA to make a fourth game. For a long time, EA said skateboarding games don't make any money, so we're not going to bother because we know EA loves money. If there's no way to monetize some sort of ultimate team mode like they do in FIFA and Madden, or just microtransaction the fuck out of it like they did with Star Wars Battlefront, they usually aren't interested. Recently, it seems like maybe that has started to change. They let Jedi Fallen Order come out, and that game was amazing, and that had no microtransactions at all. And for one of the rare times, people's campaigns actually worked. The fans, they have said this. The only reason they are doing this game is because of how loud the fans were that they wanted Skate 4. So it's a massive accomplishment by a fan base to actually get this game made. And recently, they just dropped some gameplay, man. We both watched it. What did you think?
I was a bit underwhelmed. I don't know what the phrasing would be. For me, I was hoping that what they were going to show was a bit more put together. This did seem like Bones, you know. I don't know how long they've been working on this. I think they announced it like a couple of years ago, but I
Yeah.
don't know what goes into the development of the games. Um, and I was trying to like skim through it again briefly, but I can't even find it on YouTube, so I got to go back to the link I sent. But
So
um,
they're rebuilding it from scratch. Like they don't have any of the assets from the previous games, and even if they did, those games are so old that they'd have to like rewrite the code anyway.
yeah,
This is the
I
equivalent of like a sports game skipping 15 years between releases. And
I saw something that I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I think one of the characters was like hanging from like these bars and was like, you know, um I don't know, shimmying across from one side to the other or something.
yeah,
Kind of like more free running.
like monkey bar type stuff.
Yeah, so I guess they're trying to like add a bit more free running to a point. Um
Yeah, they've been showing off a lot of like and talking about a lot of like parkour type elements, or like free running type stuff. Uh, yeah, yeah. You
I'm
were
also
underwhelmed by this trailer.
because I'm looking at it right now and I'm seeing that there's possibly a huge multiplayer aspect to it. Oh,
Yes.
the guy just ran on the wall. It's
Yeah.
like you're doing a multiplayer skateboarding Assassin's Creed with the free running and all the players and everything. But I will say that EA has their moments where they can do better than what they normally would do. Hopefully, they don't do microtransactions because that could be a disaster. Like you want these bearings to move faster, you got to pay a microtransaction. I think EA needs to do two important things for their development going forward, which is number one, listen to the fans, and number two, EA needs to shut the fuck up. Don't argue with the fans. Don't say anything negative. Just do what they,
Yeah.
listen to the fans because EA, for as big as a developer they are one of the worst game developers of all time. Next to like
Publisher. We
publisher.
should specify they are the publisher.
Okay.
So they distribute the games. They don't, but I get what you say. Like they have a lot of input on like, oh no, don't give this away for free. Make sure it's tied behind some fucking loot box
Yeah.
bullshit.
I will say that if it is multiplayer, number one, we need cross-gen play. Like we are not
Please,
cross-gen. Was it? Is it cross-plat gameplay?
cross-platform. Fucking Christ,
Because
man.
you have a PS5, me and Frankie have a Series X. I don't know when I'll get a PS5. So if we can cross-play it, awesome. And I am interested in knowing about the free running. And I know
Yeah,
Skate 3 took the city and they broke it up into like different sections. So you couldn't simultaneously travel from one to the other. You had to teleport to another one. Hopefully
yeah.
it's one major city. You can skate through the whole thing. Don't do anything stupid like the underground games from Tony Hawk where you can drive cars, because that was really stupid. Um, and it does seem like they're adding more freedom for players to do like creating parks and creating different challenges and everything. So I would love to see if that is true. And either way, they're gonna get my money.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that the park creation aspect of Skate 3 was part of what brought this game into existence, because originally, so that was a really popular element because you could create your own skate parks. Like you could create a fucking giant ass X Games type stadium. You could create like back of a parking lot, like airport terminal. They had some crazy park setups in that game. And then originally they had shut down the servers like they do with any game that's been out for a while. And they brought the servers back online because people were like clamoring, and the game still had a pretty good player base, which is, again, crazy because Skate 3 is an old game. And so it looks like they are bringing in a lot of creation elements. I liked this trailer just from the standpoint of like seeing them basically building the game from nothing. Like
Yeah,
they showed some of the bugs that they were working on. They showed like how they started with just getting the character in game to actually skateboard and push on the skateboard. Um, I thought graphically this game looks. I mean, honestly, with skateboarding games, I'm not really looking for graphics. I'm just looking for like really tight gameplay. But the graphics look amazing, and we got to give EA credit. They do make some really nice looking games. Battlefront 2 is still like one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen.
yeah.
Um,
So I do want to say
it's
this
yeah, go for it, man. Go
quickly.
for it.
When you mentioned the player base being like still alive, I'm wondering if that's primarily because Skate 3 is on Game Pass, and
Yeah, no,
so
that's yeah,
and then
yeah,
also I'm looking at this video. I think my prediction is that this city will be focused, kind of based off of San Francisco, given the
probably,
environment in the
yeah,
hills, and also if for people who will check out the trailer on the bottom left of the screen, it is emphasized it is pre alpha gameplay.
yes.
So this is very
This
very early.
this game is probably, I would say, at least 2 years away. Like, maybe I could see it coming out in like early 2024, but I think this is probably a couple years away.
Yeah, I say about two to
I did
three.
want to mention, huh?
I say about 2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, based on what they showed, because the rendered gameplay they showed was very brief. It looked
Yeah.
good, but it was like maybe 30 seconds of actual gameplay mechanics. But it all looks really promising. I did want to say one of the cool things that's happening with Skate 4, which again, this game is in a very interesting position because of how it was brought back and kind of how they're handling it. I don't know if you knew this, but they brought in content creators, like people who played Skate 3 on YouTube and like make a bunch of content on that game. They brought them in to get their ideas for what they want and what their fans have they would like say, give me some questions and I'll make sure to bring it up with the devs. So they've really gone in, and it seems like which doesn't happen that often, they are making a game for the fans. Like they have asked people, tell us what you want to see in this game, because that's the game we want to make. And that's, as a fan of the Skate series and someone who like, I meme on Anthony all the time begging for Jack 4 to come back and him saying it's never going to come back. I was the same way with Skate 4. I was just like, fucking please bring back Skate 4. I will do literally anything. I want that game so badly. And they're bringing it back, and it seems so far like they're doing everything right. Now, like we said, this is EA. So at any point, this could go totally tits up, and like they could be like, oh, in order to get your first board, you have to spend like an extra $5 in game, or you have to do all this fucking crazy grinding, or I don't know, some dumb skate loot boxes or whatever. But for what we're seeing so far, I think this looks really promising. Also, I really like that they're taking their time. Like, don't get me wrong, I want Skate 4 to come out tomorrow or like right now so I can play it. But if this takes another 2 years, 3 years, like that's fine. It's not a yearly sports game. It doesn't have to come out every year.
Right.
We just want it to be good.
I think
And
that's
it
why
seems like they're taking their time.
think that's why certain games like Hades and Stardew Valley exist, so that you're done playing with the games got through. You can play these games almost endlessly until the next big thing comes out.
Hmm.
There are people out there who don't play a lot of single player story based games. You and I are big single player story based kinds of players. We like to have that feeling of accomplishment and the story. So I have a couple of thoughts on EA, and I actually have an idea that I maybe will want to see in this game. So the couple things with EA, I remember a time, this is like PS2 back in the day. EA was awesome. They had different Star Wars games, they had James Bond games. Like I was never a James Bond fan, but some of those
Yeah.
games were kick ass. They did the Harry Potter games, they had Need for Speed. And I think now,
Also, I gotta mention they to this day I think they made the greatest baseball game ever, MVP Baseball 2005, a game which is also I think on the list of it's like number 86 on the list of the 100 greatest video games of all time to
nice.
show you how amazing that baseball game was. EA made that. Like, dude, it's
Like,
like the I mean, this is kind of ironic, but this is like Anakin into Darth Vader. Like
yeah,
they went
back when
from man,
they used to have EA games, challenge everything, and EA Sports. It's in the game. Um,
yeah,
their football games were good back then. I think what EA needs to do
bro, they
now.
made fucking NBA Street, like NFL
Oh
Streets.
yeah,
Those games were awesome.
like the EA needs to add a M in between the E and the A, and it's gonna stand for Eat My Ass, because that's what EA has been doing. Like, oh, you want this? Eat my ass. You want that? Eat my ass.
Yeah.
So what I want to see, I remember the first time I got Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. And the moment they let me control the character, I tried doing all the crazy tricks I knew how to do, and nothing worked. And I was
Mhm.
like, what the hell? What's wrong with my game? Apparently, in that game, for those of you who don't know, you have to learn every trick in the game as you go through the story. And I guess the part of the story was like
What?
you act like you're a pro skateboarder, but you're not. You have to learn everything.
Oh.
And because that was like the first and probably only open world Tony Hawk game. So you have to learn how to kickflip and learn how to shove it. You couldn't just go crazy with the tricks.
Yeah.
But I think they handled it very well in that one. It wasn't like a grind to get all the tricks. So
Mm.
with this Skate 4, I could see it both ways. Either yes, you can just go in and do all the crazy tricks or hey, you're a new skater. We're going to teach you how to skateboard, because that's how it is in life. You can't just get on a board. And I skateboarded in my life for like let's say 4 to 5 years, and I've only
Hmm.
landed one successful kickflip. Like I really did not put I used it to traverse mostly around New York City. It kept me
Sure.
in great shape. I tried to do some tricks. I did a couple grinds. I did a few pop shove its, one kickflip, and I used to go down the mini ramp, and that's it. So I could see both ways. Yes, you can do every trick you want, or hey, you're gonna learn along the way and gain that progression.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they address this. I mean, I guess it is fair to say like they are calling the game Skate,
Yeah.
so this is serving, I think, as a pretty like I don't know, soft reboot. It's like I guess sort of a spiritual successor, but I will say maybe potentially this is the start of a new Skate franchise because Skate 3 skipped, or I guess Skate has now skipped PS4, Xbox One,
Yeah.
and they're now on. Now we're into the next gen. We're almost 2 years into the next
Oh
gen. So by the time
yeah.
this game actually comes out, probably be like it's probably going to be exclusive. I don't think they're going to be making PS4 games in 2 to 3
Right.
years. Um, maybe this is a new franchise, which would be awesome if they do a new, or maybe instead of numbers, they just do like Skate, and then sort of similar to what Tony Hawk started doing, like putting a secondary title underneath.
Like
But
Skate New
I think
York
that
or
would be
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
that'd be
mean, at the
dope.
same time, based on what they showed, like, and I don't keep up with current, famous skateboarders, that kind of stuff. Like I more of the old school, like Bob Burnquist, Rodney Mullen, Tony Hawk, those kinds of guys. But maybe this is a game that just occasionally gets like some sort of update or DLC or something to like keep it up to date with current stuff. Because what they showed off looked pretty cool. Like it's gonna look beautiful, obviously.
Yeah.
And since it's a street skating game, I don't know how, obviously they're gonna get professional skaters to be in it because every skate game has like actual real life skaters. I don't think Tony Hawk will be in it, but Danny Way will, and Danny Way is going to be their version of Tony Hawk, just like he was in the first 3 games. But it is going to be interesting to see what direction they take this franchise. I think so far, I really like what they're doing. They're listening to the fans. They want the game to be good. And I hate to do this, but I feel like we almost have to give a little credit to EA because only credit in the sense that they seem like they have been sort of hands off with some of these games, like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and now they're getting a sequel, which, like, if you told me 5 years ago that EA was going to allow a single player Star Wars game with no microtransactions to come out and get a sequel, I would just not believe
Yeah.
you were from this timeline. And it looks like they're being kind of hands off with Skate because people are hyped for this game. And I would think if EA thought it was possible to get it to come out sooner, like to actually give a date, they would. And they haven't. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, like I just know that when this game is ready to be released, my carpal tunnel better be fixed because those right stick tricks, man. I'm mad because I
You
had
think
this
they'll change? You
footage.
think they'll change the controls at all? You think they'll change the
Definitely not.
controls? Probably not, right? That's
I,
like what
I
made the
feel like
game.
if they do and they use buttons, they're gonna be like, oh, it's a ripoff of Tony Hawk and blah blah. You know how people get with it. Um,
Yeah,
I hope they have to also put. I mean, it's clearly gonna have better movements for the characters as well. Because if you get off the
yeah,
board in Skate 3, your character is so stiff, and
really stiff. Yeah.
when you get to beat up people with the board, it's just very sloppy. Um, I
I'm
remember
glad you
I
brought that up though, because the character movements, and I guess they probably did that on purpose. Like the character movements they showed off, especially the guy running across the wall,
yeah
that looked really fluid,
yeah
especially considering where we came from, like Skate 2 and 3, and Skate 1, you couldn't even fucking board. So like it looks like they're putting a lot of effort behind this game, which is really cool.
I used to have back when I had an Xbox One, I had footage where I was doing it was early on, I was playing the game and I'm doing like a race and there's like a big jump that we take. And while we're in the air, I press like the attack button and my guy pushes another skater, sends him flying across the screen. And I wish I still had that footage. And I don't have it. I can't find it. It's long gone. But moments like that. Also, didn't Skate 3 remove the Hall of Meat thing?
No, that was still in the game.
Okay. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
I
know if
hope
that
they
was.
bring that back. Yeah.
So I want to, because I don't even know what my progression is in Skate 3. I know I made some progress, but I'm like, what the hell am I doing right now? Like, I just don't know. I just been occasionally I'll play it, I'll skate for a bit, and then I say to myself, I should go back to skateboarding. But I'm 30 and I'm thick. I don't want to fall and get hurt, and like I'm afraid of getting hurt.
You gotta be careful these days, man. You gotta be
Yeah.
careful.
So
We're
I
not as
figured,
young and invincible as we used
and
to
then
be.
you look at Tony Hawk, who's 50, sure, or in his 50s, but he's been skating nonstop for years and
Right.
years.
You're
So,
also comparing yourself to maybe
exactly
the greatest
to
skater of all time.
yeah, exactly. But more so of like, hey, I'm afraid to get hurt because when you get to our age, you don't heal as quickly, I guess.
Yeah.
And I also live in a heavily suburban area, so skateboarding is kind of hard compared to a city.
It's
But
funny you like your past with skateboarding up though, because I should mention I've never skateboarded in my life.
yeah,
And I love skateboarding games like Tony Hawk, Skate, love skateboarding games. I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea why. I have no background. Mom, dad didn't skateboard, like nothing. I have no idea why. I think I just always thought it was really cool. Like when I saw watching highlights of Tony Hawk hitting a 900, I was like, I don't even know how that was possible. That looks
Yeah.
like magic. And when Anthony used to show me clips of Rodney Mullen, I was like, this is all fake. There's no fucking way anyone can do any of the shit he is doing on a skateboard. That is impossible. There's something very just like, I don't know, like artistic and like chaotically graceful about skateboarding. And I really don't know if it's one of those like, I can't do it in real life, so I want to be good at it in a video game. But I've also never had any interest in skateboarding, which is like, it's funny because a lot of the people that play the skate games don't skateboard. Like even the content creators, like a large majority of them don't skateboard at all. And it's a real testament to like the game's success because it's somehow really successful, even though people don't do the thing that the game is. And considering it's something you could do in real life, that's the sign of a pretty successful franchise. So I'm pretty hyped that they brought it back.
I think the thing about it for you is like a lot of video games, you're driving a car or you're a superhero. And so
Yeah.
skateboarding, especially an open world skateboarding game like that, it's very unique, very rare that it happens. And that's probably what it is about people who don't skateboard. And funny how you mentioned skateboarders who don't play the game, because I used to work with this guy who he loved basketball. He watches basketball. He would play basketball at like a gym or whatever. And when the last 2K was releasing with that, open world mode, I was like, bro, you see the new gameplay for 2K? He was like, yeah, I don't play 2K. And I was like, you're the only guy I know who likes basketball who doesn't play 2K. The only guy. Everyone I know who
Yeah.
likes basketball plays 2K. Um,
Yeah, usually there's a lot of crossover. Same with like baseball games, football games. Like there's
yeah,
a lot of crossover with like, oh, you play the game in real life or you played it as a kid or something. So like you want to
right.
play the video game version.
Also, it'd be like, oh, you're a fan of these different players, so you want to also play the video game
Yeah,
that they're
yeah.
in. I think with
Right,
the
right. You want to play as
skateboarding,
LeBron, you want to play as
right.
Derek Jeter, that kind of stuff.
I
Yeah.
wonder for skateboarders if it'll feel like work to them, like, oh, I can do this in real life. Why I'm going to do it in a video game? Um, because my comparison to that is I love racing games, but I also have those moments where I'm like, I'll just get in my car and drive somewhere, which is also a Mighty Keith joke. If you don't know Mighty Keith, he's a pretty cool YouTuber, but
Yeah.
that's my problem with Forza recently. It's like I can just get in my car and drive.
Like, bro, can't you do that in real life?
Yeah, it's
Why
like,
did you buy a video game for that shit?
and I guess for me, the thing
You
about
have a
Forza,
car.
for me
You
with
own a
Forza,
car. Get in your car and drive.
yeah, I think for me with Forza, it's like, well, I can't afford a Lamborghini, so I can at least drive a Lamborghini.
Well,
But me and skateboarding,
yeah.
I used to be able to skateboard, but not as good as what I can do in the games. Um, so that's
Yeah.
all
I
my
wanted to
comments.
say, yeah, I wanted to say one more thing too, just about like the fun that can be had in a skate game. And like you were talking about with transportation around like a map.
Hmm.
One of the coolest things about a skateboarding game is like it doesn't need a story because if the environment is dynamic enough, like I remember a lot of the times in skate and like Tony Hawk, I would just find one area on a map or like one area in the game, and I would just set a session marker and skate that for like hours, just like trying to hit
Yeah.
different tricks. And like especially Skate had a really cool video editor in their games, and you could make some really sick looking videos. And the games had like fun stories. You'd like unlock different areas and eventually get to the X Games, that kind of stuff. But part of the fun was like you could be skating around the city and then just find like a set of stairs and a bench. And you're just like, oh, I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit this trick. I'm gonna hit this trick.
I did
And
that once.
yeah,
I was
it's
skating with some of the guys, and we found a church on one of the avenues near 14th Street, and we were
mhm,
just trying to do tricks off the two steps of the church.
yeah,
Eventually, the cops told us to leave, but they weren't like
yeah.
upset or anything. It was like, hey, you guys need to like go. But that's what skateboarders do. They find a spot, they do tricks, they take photos and video, they try to get themselves out there. So I'm happy now because I was upset with the Tony Hawk thing, but now I am getting excited more for skate, and I thank you for this conversation because it's getting me excited.
Yeah,
And
bro. It's really cool to see a movement like this that brought a franchise back from the dead, literally a franchise that the company that owns it said we are not making any more of these games.
yep,
the fact that they could come out and say that, and then there's enough pushback where they're like, all right, maybe, because you know what it is too, like before we wrap up, EA, this is where like their greed works to our advantage, is like they said, no, we're not making any more skateboarding games, they don't make money. And then if enough people start asking, they're like, man, you know what, maybe we can make some money off these people. Like maybe if we make one more skate game, we can squeeze a few extra dollars.
Yeah.
So in this sense, it worked in our advantage. And like when Skate 4 comes out, it is going to be the dominant skateboarding game. I don't want to hear about Session. I don't want to hear about Skater XL. It's going to be Skate 4. And I hope that the resurgence of Skate 3, like keeping that franchise alive and just like keeping skateboarding video games alive, because I am pretty sure that contributed to the Tony Hawk remake being greenlit in the first place, is that Activision was like, oh shit, people still play skateboarding games, like let's remake these old Tony Hawk games.
Yep.
This is really exciting. I hope that it leads, maybe in a perfect world, Skate 4 comes out and Activision sees the success that it has and they say, you know what, get Tony Hawk on the line. We're gonna remake those games.
I hope so, because
there's a lot of potential.
We need the remake of Pro Skater 3, Pro Skater 4, Underground 1, Underground 2, American Wasteland, and put the characters back. Give me Wolverine and Darth Maul back in those games.
There is a lot riding on the release of Skate 4. They didn't show too much, but what they did show, I think, is proving the game has a lot of potential, and most importantly, they're taking their time. Yeah. Any closing thoughts, Anthony? I mean, I'm looking forward to this game.
Just get ready to grab your boards and your Monster Energy drinks, and we're gonna be hitting them rails, and we're gonna be hitting those half pipes and everything. And
yeah, bro, can't wait.
This has been fun. We are the Three Amigos podcast. We want to thank you guys who have been watching us, whether it's on Anchor or Spotify or YouTube. We're just trying to do our thing. We just want to share our thoughts with like-minded individuals who might enjoy what we have to say.
Yeah, we upload some of these episodes to YouTube as well, if you want to watch or listen to them on there. So we appreciate everybody that does. It's really cool to see people checking out the channel.
Yeah, and we hope you guys have a good 4th of July coming up, whether you watch this before or after. Good summer, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.